Hello, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. 3 o'clock again this afternoon. Do apologise for the late video, but you know, I was watching here from. Welcome back to Thailand. For instance, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, quarter to 3, and on the 31st, last day of October. Do la come and happy Halloween if you're celebrating Halloween. They're doing it a bit more over here. I see more shops, more bars are doing Halloween. I think it's made more like and then schools are doing it. I think more about getting more money in, more people, more patrons, have parties, that kind of thing. And see the kids are taking part as well. So, for instance, we had the local my lady's daughter, for instance, taking part and she doing a face, etc., which is quite funny. Yeah. So welcome back to Thailand, etc. I'm True Blue Thai. If you don't know me, for instance, Man City fan, born in Manchester, for instance, but lived overseas most of my adult life. But an avid Manchester City fan. Like to talk about Man City, everything about Manchester City. And so for instance, I'm not one of these texter people. For instance, I follow a lot of channels, YouTuber, vloggers, etc. But I like to get it off my chest, as it were, and have a chat with you guys and support the guys, for instance, who go each and week in, which have been like me for a long time. Even when I was living in Europe and I was living in Scandinavia for 10 years, I used to go every game. Not every game. I used to be a member of the Scandinavian Supporters Club, and we used to come over from Denmark into England to watch the games. And for instance, it was not until I moved to Thailand, etc., when it's a little bit difficult to get the Manchester and back. But for instance, I still want to be part of the club. I still want to be part of everything, and share my views. My views might be something you like, something you don't like. Who knows? I don't know. Just make this camera look a bit more. So for instance, it just tell me what I think about, the games, etc. For instance, if you like, if you like, on my like button if you want. If you don't, it's up to yourself, etc. For instance, I said like I'm just doing this because I like talking city, and for instance, and that's it basically. For instance, and expressing my views. So, for instance, and again, what's going you're here in Thailand. It's about 30 degrees again today. We had still in the rainy season because they did initially announce they actually started the cold season. What's it called? But because of the rainy season, to be hanging on a bit, it started off late. For instance, especially where I am in Jomtien, next to Pattaya, for instance, it started off late. So what's it called? But it's kind of like, for instance, continued. So we've had a bit of rain, and there's a bit of a nasty storm coming along from Vietnam, etc. For instance, about one of the typhoons. Whether it'll come over here, I don't know. But for instance, we seem to be getting a bit more rain lingering on, etc. Should be finished by now, and we won't get any rain at all until whatever, or maybe the odd little shower, but very rarely. It's really strange. And live in this tropical climate, but for instance, but we're not. So they've actually delayed the start of the rainy season. So, but it's also started the high season. So from now all the way till the new year, for instance, we got a lot of phalangs coming over. I know you like that. A lot of people don't like saying that, but that is what we are. It's not a racist term. For instance, started doing UT a long time ago, up in the north of Thailand, a long time ago, for instance. But I don't think it's a racist term in any way whatsoever. It doesn't bother me too much. I remember living in different parts of Europe and Spain, and what's it called? They had a word for phalanx or foreigners, etc. But I think in Denmark we used to call it invader. Ooh, but but it's something you're going to get used to. You're always going to be looked at as a phalang. So, for instance, an outsider, but it's just parcel of living in Thailand or living overseas. Anyway, so let's talk city. So we're in a Thai area, by the way. I live in a Thai area, so there's a lot of coming and going, a lot of dog barking, a lot of cars, motorbikes. Just myself in this Thai area with a lot of Thai people. For instance, a lot of them at work at the moment, work 6 and 7 days a week, etc. For instance, 12 hours a day, ridiculous. Anyway, so let's talk city. So let's talk about last night. And we have a problem. Well, we have a few problems, but what's it called? We have a major problem, and that's injuries. And the injuries are, for instance, I would have accepted last in my previous. I would have accepted a 2-0, 2-1 defeat, which I said, and not a defeat, but not go out against Spurs. See, Cup, etc. I've seen many times. I've seen us lift many times, and for instance, and yeah, it's it's one. If we didn't have the Club World Cup, we didn't have the extra games in the Champions League, etc. And so, for instance, when I would be more and the international breaks, etc. I would be a bit more. What's it called? Wanted to go for it more. What's it called? But for instance, when we yeah, so for instance, and we then as what's it called? I would have gone. I'm happy to go for it. Go for because it's only another couple of games to be final, but it is what it is. And with our injury list going into the game, for instance, it was a bit concerning, because the player did look tired. Southampton, give it the dues, etc., did play well, and for instance, and Erling looked really, really tired, and Rico looked tired, etc. For instance, when they came off the pitch. So, and I was very happy that Pep rested Erling, and yeah, but I was a little bit. For instance, but yeah, I've been very now absolutely. I really am. He's taken out. Also go when we see so many injuries and so many players going down, it's just really heartbreaking. And one thing I didn't want to do, I don't mind going out. I don't want to anymore let lose injuries. There's stupid notion that Manchester City have got two squads is ridiculous. What we have is got very good players, and we have, for instance, who can come in. But the fact is, we're also playing. We also have three goalkeepers, and also, for instance, we have a lot of academy players we're bringing through as well, part of the 13 squad. Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, for instance, who are getting their starts, etc. For instance, Mackie T, for instance. And to sit there and say, and also we've got kind of a bit of an Asian squad as well, which is going to be a massive rebuild in the new year, in the new season. So, for instance, sorry, exactly in the transfer window. So we've got to need a big. We need a lot of money spent on the squad, etc. For instance, so we don't have a massive squad. We don't. We have about 21 players, maybe 22. So, for instance, it's not that great squad. And yeah, it's a big squad. Like so, where the media will say, "Oh, that's it, whatever." We got players who can come on, just like other teams, have got players who can come on who can do a job. But for instance, some of the players are not starting players. But so that is an actual myth, and it just drives me mad when I listen to the media and they keep talking about the size of Manchester City's squad. Anyway, so let's move on. So the team was basically what's it called the same I said. I think it was Leeds for some strange reason. I had a friend of mine, he's in Bali at the moment. He actually texted me the same team as I said to you yesterday. It was, yeah. So somebody leaked the damn team, and the team was exactly the same. For instance, but going into the game, I woke up. I woke up 3 a.m. etc. Turned it on. I was really surprised when I was listening to LB, for instance, about the team, and he was saying about the team. I'm like, what the hell? And he got the impression, what's it called, LB, for instance, on his channel, for instance, that the team had been, somebody's leaking the team, and but anyway, so moving on. But while I was following LB, for instance, before the start of the game, Hugh, for instance, what's it called, popped up that Akanji got injured, and I thought, no, you're joking, And but yeah, he got injured in the warm up, and so a bit of a calf injury. I thought, oh, for flip's sake, it appears that he had issues prior to the game, from what Pep was saying, so he got injured. And then Diaz had to come in to be like that. Thank God we took made most of our major squad. We did start off with some of the what's it called, for instance, EDS squad, Jason McAtee, for instance, Nico O'Reilly, for instance, were part of it as well. You could. I'm not saying Rico Lewis is, in an academy EDS, but he is kind of coming in from like some Walker, for instance, where he's injured. But yeah, I was really shocked, and so for instance, and that really really put it down on me. And then we went 1-0 down. For instance, I thought we were playing a lot better than what I expected. Considering Spurs, I thought Spurs needed to do more. They went quite strong as well in there because according to Ange Postecoglou or whatever, he said he wins this trophy in the second season. And so, for instance, They needed to. The good game meant more to them than it did to City, really. So he went strong, and then the what's it called? Their goalkeeper, for instance, goal scorer, for instance, Timo Werner, for instance, put the goal in the ball in the back of the net from a typical counter attack, which is another issue which we've got to address when everybody's back. And but it's a massive issue because we seem to be having a lot of ball possession, and and then we're getting a counter attacked on, and then we're conceding goals, and it seems to be happening near enough every game, and it's really really concerning now. So they went 1-0 up, etc. And but I thought we was holding our own. For instance, I thought we were passing the ball and playing. They were playing well. For instance, throughout the game, and then they went 2-0 down. We went 2-0 down. I think it was 1-0 at half time, and then come out in the second half, etc. For instance, no, sorry, it was 1-0, and they went 2-0 before the second half, which was a ball kicked out during from a corner ball. I thought, could Ortega played better? For instance, Carabao in the first goal is it a defensive lineup issue? For instance, could people talk about Rico for the first goal? Was he at fault? It's a tough one. It really is. So I was really really concerned about the about it as well. So, for instance, about the where we're conceding goals, and the Ortega could have done better, but the ball swooped in from a shot from outside the box. Uh, uh, yeah, So it's a difficult. A goalkeeper doesn't want to get beat by there, so it kind of like it put me further down there. So but I expected it. Thought okay, fine, as long as we don't get hammered. And then Savinio, we had to our last 15 minutes of the game. I thought we were the better team, better squad, had a lot of more possession. And then a cross from Savinio over to Nunes. I think all the Spurs players seemed to go to the ball, and left Nunes by himself, etc. And he put the ball back 2-1. So going into the second half, etc., going to the halftime break, etc., once to go start the second half, we said, and I went to Lewis's channel, I went to a few other City vloggers, and they're all buzzing. Oh yeah, I think we got a chance here. And from a team, from a bunch of guys who were kind of okay if we lost and lose it, we were kind of like, come on, let's win this. Come on, we can get this, we can do this. So I think everybody was, fired up. And then, for instance, anyways, the second half came along, etc. For instance, and then, for instance, I thought we were looking better. For instance, Pep was took off Gundogan. I don't know what's happened to Ilkay at the moment, etc. He's one of my favourite players at City, for instance, and he's not playing well at the moment. I do believe he'll come good. But I'm disappointed. But Pep chased it round and took off Gundo and brought on, for instance, took off Gundo and brought on Phil Foden. Took off Phil Foden and brought on Bernardo Silva, which also played well. Phil didn't have his best of games, so So for instance, I was a little bit disappointed with them too. But then again, for instance, I sometimes I think, for instance, we seem to get the ball on the what's it called on the touch line, and we get so far out of the pitch, come on, and the ball seems to be doing a bit of tippy tappy going across. Sometimes I wish someone would just shoot, and just be a bit more, to shoot. I think when Jacob Wright came on for Sevilla, for instance, he had a few shots, and the shots were quite wayward, but at least he had a shot. So, for instance, and Nico Riley, for instance, his shot, it was cleared off the line. For instance, it was, and I thought, why the hell can't, Phil and Bernardo and do something like that? We seem to be trying to create the good goal, the greater goal, for instance, but no, the perfect goal. Sometimes we just shoot. You never know where it'll rick it off. The goalkeeper might spill it. You never know. So what's it called? But we definitely got to be shooting more, defending better, and and then Sevilla, for instance, he went over on. I think they have a bit of a slope down in Spurs, and he kind of went over a little bit. Whether he got a knock, I think Uganda got a bit of a knock when he went into a challenge, went off to take a corner, and then he felt it on his ankle, and so he went off on a stretcher. Didn't look nice. And then, for instance, then you're talking Guardiola, for instance, he went down, for instance, took clutch in his groin. There was a bit of a shout. Pep went out, screamed from him, and it was like his groin area. Pep went out to see him. He got up and continued, but he was having treatment off the pitch. I believe Nevin Aki, for instance, had a bit of a limp when he was leaving. Thought, oh, bloody hell. And all right, okay, we don't mind going out, but we don't lose half of our squad going out. But yeah, so for instance, we ended up with the 40% of the squad now injured. And it doesn't look good for instance, for Bournemouth on Saturday, as well as Sporting and Brighton up to the international break. But it is concerning. It's a massive, massive concern, and I'm very, very worried. I'm very worried. So because we can't afford any more injuries. We're on bare bones. We're gonna have to. I think I was looking at this in Extreme Company, and he was actually looking at the EDS squad who can we bring in, and I think that's what we're going to be looking at. But we're going to Bournemouth, who are in a good position at the moment because also they didn't play midweek, in a good position, and for instance, what's it called? And last thing we want to do is concede our at top of the league. I know the thing because the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool have both got different games. I think Arsenal go to Newcastle. For instance, I'm not quite sure what what Liverpool are doing, but they've got a tough game. But for instance, the last thing we want to do is drop points in these important games, and I worry that every time we seem to go into a challenge, there seems to be an issue as well. So I worry. I'm holding my back. Oh, is he okay? Is he okay? Is he okay? Uh, but it is a massive concern. It really is. It's I'm just shocked about what's happening at City at the moment. The amount of what's it called it? For instance, the amount of injuries we're having, and it really is. For instance, is it a spin-off amount of games they've played? Is it? I don't know. I know other teams are having got a lot of injuries as well. I think Liverpool and the Spurs have 2 injuries. They went off. Something's got to be addressed. Something's got to be done. Because we've got extra games in Champions League, extra games in, for instance, we've got these stupid games, for instance, with this European thing, etc. This whatever Europa League, etc. thing. I don't know what they call it now. This what England are playing in and the national squads there. I don't know. For instance, something's not right, etc. But it is very concerning. Overall, I think we played very well. I think I was quite buoyed up about the way we played. I thought, for instance, on any other day, for instance, we had a better squad. For instance, we had a KDB or whatever. It's like when Haaland was playing, I thought we could have beat Spurs. They don't look as it was more of a importance to them after losing against Palace, and and it was under a bit of a pressure to win something this season. So it might, going out might be a shining light because looking at the rest of because it was only Premier League sides now in, and now we've got a week off where we don't have to put up a strong side because the Spurs and we've got drawn United. United are on a bit of a trip now because they're going to win the league now because they beat Leicester. For instance, I did hear that, what's it called, when they beat Port Vale and the United fans ringing up Talk Sport going, "Oh, we're going to win the league now." I'm like, God, Jesus, you're kidding me. So no, it's but yeah, exactly. So I don't. I am concerned about the injuries. I'm concerned about, but I'm happy that, for instance, we're out. We didn't get stuffed, as it were. For instance, I thought we made a good account of ourselves. Proud of the players. Proud of the young players who came on the EDS squad. Good players who came on. I think what's his name? What's his name? The young lad who came on. John Simpson Pusey, for instance, hell of a name that. For instance, he came on, etc. For instance, I thought he played well. For instance, and the others, for instance, I thought O'Reilly, big strong lad, etc. Played well. Jacob Wright, really tried as well. So, for instance, they didn't disgrace us in any way whatsoever. I think the only people really let us down was Phil Foden and Ilkay Gundogan, really, for instance. Yeah, so regular players. But we're going off to Saturday now. What's go where we've got Bournemouth, which is going to be a nerve-wracking game. Normally, when I go to Bournemouth, I'm quite looking forward to it, for instance. But now I'm going, not because of the goals, but how many players we're going to lose against Bournemouth. So happy he didn't play Haaland again. I'm quite happy with the guys going up to the fishing. There's some guys who are fishermen. They've got in the afternoon they take the fishing stuff, going down to the fishing to the beach area. So, but yeah, but no, I'm okay with us going out. Disappointed, mega disappointed with the injuries. Happy, for instance, for the full performance overall. Concerned about the fact we're not shooting. Concerned about the fact that we're still giving up. We're allowing far too many teams counter above us, and we just don't seem to have an answer. For instance, the way we're defending. But yeah, so it's going to be an interesting one Saturday. It really is. So, and I'm going to be concerned not with the what's it called what's it called with the result, etc. What how many players we got going to Sporting? I'm quite happy to go to Sporting and get a point, basically. They might be a bit of a disarray with losing a manager, their manager to United, etc. For instance, it's the most sought after manager in the world, by the way. And Man City wanted him, by the way, according to United fans now. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. And Man City didn't want him. He was on the list. We were talking about him, but when Pep extends his contract, which will sign next month, damn 100% certain. But yeah. But yeah, we'll see. But again, for instance, because we can still enough games in the Champions League, so even if we didn't win against Sporting, etc., as long as we put up get a point or something like that, and I'd be quite happy to say that to the Etihad, and I'm sure we can get into the top 8. For instance, and qualify for the next round of the Champions League. And then we got Brighton before the international break, but it's a concern. I can see Pep. He wasn't. I saw in an interview afterwards, and he didn't look happy at all. So very concerning. As I would, for instance, if I was him. But we'll get by, and we'll do it, and we'll find a way because we're City, and champions. And champions, we don't win 4 Premier League titles in a row, for instance, without going through bad patches. And this is a bad patch for injuries. Not performance, not whatever. Quite happy with the performance, etc. But it's just the finishing off of chances, or shoot more, for instance. But overall, I'm quite happy with the team yesterday. I'm just disappointed with the injuries. Simple, yeah, really disappointed. And so tonight I'm gonna have an early night, see if we can shake off some of these backs into my ass. Going running tomorrow, and probably have a chat with tomorrow. I'm sure some City news happening. I'm sure there is. Seems to be every single damn day at the moment. All right, okay. Like and subscribe if you want. Up to yourselves, etc. But if you want any comments, agree with me, disagree with me, but just don't be nasty to me. For instance, if you be nasty to me, I just automatically not. No, I won't read it. I'm just a guy from instance who enjoys talking football, this is nothing professional. I don't have all the graphics and all the Manchester thing, but it's not my full-time job, as it were. But it's just somebody who fancy talking Man City. If you want me to talk about more about Thailand, if you're coming up to Thailand, if you've got any questions about it, except about the place. And all I can say, friends, if you're coming to Thailand, and if you want to ride a motorbike in Thailand, make certain that you wear a helmet. Make certain that you have health insurance, because there's far too many people who have accidents and lose their lives in Thailand, and it's a very, very dangerous place to ride a motorbike, and especially without a helmet, and to get used to. You see it too many times, etc., and too many people have too many accidents, far too many accidents. You want to go home and remember your trip, not go home in a wheelchair, okay, or not go home at all. Anyway, guys, love you and leave you. For instance, whatever you're doing, enjoy yourselves. I'll speak to you soon, and sorry, Cap from Thailand, Thailand's Minds.